Hello and welcome to Math 255. I'm your instructor, David Ross. I'm covering both the Math 255 AA and BB sections. Now what you're going to find is that there's a total of 4 hours a week, 2 hours in one day, 2 hours in another day for the Math 255. And if we take a look here at important dates and deadlines, we'll find that on September 7th, which is the first week of classes, is Labor Day, which means all the classes on Labor Day will be canceled because Seneca is closed. Now this is our calendar here, and you can see that that's Labor Day. And so our classes are going to start actually on the 8th. That means all the classes, if you look at your timetable for all your Monday classes here, none of those classes are going to be taught in the first week. What that means for Math 255 BB, they're going to lose 2 hours here. And so they're only going to have 2 of the 4 hours that are scheduled for their class in the first week. The other strange thing about this semester is that the classes will end on December 16th. If we take a look at this calendar, that's a Wednesday. So all classes after Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will not be available in that last week of classes, which means the Math 255A group will have one less theory class that week, but the B group will have one here, and then they're going to have their final exam here. So both the Math 255AA and BB will have their final exam on the Tuesday of that last week of classes. Now, there's some other dates you should be aware of as well, that on September 8th here, your tuition is due. Now, the last day to add courses will be September 17th, which is here. And on the 21st is the last day to drop courses without receiving a grade and maybe getting a potential refund. The thing is, some people have actually come in first semester, and when they get to this date, they decide Seneca is not for them, and they drop all their courses, and they usually get a full refund. Now, one of the more important documents that you're going to have on Blackboard is the addendum. When you look at the addendum, it's got my name, my email address. Office hours are flexible, so if you need help, you can actually just email me and we can maybe deal with it through email, or we can set up a meeting. This is a prescribed text here, and you're going to find in here that week by week it's going to go through what you're going to be covering and when the evaluations are due. And so you have to make sure that by the time you get up, especially these ones here, which were at 20%, that you know the material and make sure that if you've had any problem to this point, you get those problems dealt with before those big evaluations happen. Now you can see here week 6 again, October 12th, the college is closed, which is a Monday. And if we go down through here, the last thing that we're going to talk about here is the final exam will be on the Tuesday, I believe, for both the A and the B, because Wednesday is the last day of classes. Thursday and Friday, there are no classes. Now, the next category under Blackboard is professor contact information, which is very handy if you want to contact me about setting up a time to go over any material that you may be having trouble with. In here, you'll find a picture of me. You'll find my name, my room number, which is A4026. You can click here to send me emails so you don't have to remember my email address. And if you click on timetable, you'll see this is my timetable that you saw earlier in the video with the BB here, the AA over here, and the other BB here. So it shows you when I'm available. Now, Wednesdays and Thursdays, I don't have classes. So these 2 days, I probably won't be in the college. But you can see here Friday morning is a good time. You can also see here after 1:30 till about 2:30 here, you can come in here, or there's times here, or any time on Tuesday morning, you could probably come in because I'm usually in around 10 o'clock in the morning. Next on Blackboard, you're going to find student handouts. Now, if you open this up, you're going to find a number of PDF files. This is one for a formula sheet, which you can use during the semester. And you've got Unit 1, which you saw in the addendum is going to be covered for the first 2 weeks and so forth. So you should be able to print all of these out, and it's probably best to do that right at the start of the semester so you have all of the things that you need to work on over the semester itself. For instance, if we take a look at formula sheet here, it shows all the different formulas that you don't have to remember because these are typically going to be included on tests and quizzes and so on, so they'll be part of a crib sheet that's there. If we go back and take a look at Unit 1, for instance, it gives us the first topic, the J operator, and it gives you a whole bunch of exercises that you should work on, and that's why it's important that you print these out and bring them to class. Because as you do this, we'll be going through what the answers are and how to get them so that you'll be able to understand all of these topics. It has polar to rectangular, rectangular to polar, and you're going to need a calculator for this course as well. That's going to do these calculations a lot easier than doing them the old-fashioned way. So here's rectangular polar coordinates, and here's, say, a Sharp EL 520 shows you how to do that with that calculator, or a Casio FX 991 shows you how to do that with this calculator. So it pretty well shows you how to do everything, but it's very important that you print out all of these sheets and bring the Unit 1s to class for the first 2 weeks. Now you'll also find after student handouts, videos. If you click on here, it'll bring up week 1, week 2, and some other videos here for various parts of the course. And if you go to, for instance, week 1, it shows you how to do rectangular to polar and back again, how to convert polar to rectangular using a Casio FX 991, or polar to rectangular using Sharp, the two calculators that were mentioned earlier. It also goes through things like what are imaginary numbers and so forth. And there's a lot of these videos that are here that were actually taken from YouTube. And I did some searching to find hopefully the best videos to help you out. We have something called practice quizzes. And we have practice quizzes, not a lot. We have practice quizzes for only the first 2 weeks to sort of get you started, because after a while you can pretty well figure things out, I'm hoping, for yourselves. And so if we click on one of these, for instance, week 1, part 1, you can see here that the attempts are unlimited, so we can start the attempt here. And it says, and these are generated randomly, so the questions change, and there's multiple versions of each question. It says, when using Euler's formula, angles must be expressed in radians, true or false. I'm going to put false, which is not true, and I'm going to say continue. And so that's 2 out of 14. Now, as you go through these, it will give you what your answers are, what percentage you have, and then you can go back and do these again until you understand and get a proper result of close to 100%, hopefully, before you actually end up doing the quizzes and the tests that are written, because all the stuff in class is just that, in class, which means all your testing is in class on paper, but this gives you a little bit of practice, especially on polar to rectangular, rectangular to polar, so that you can do these easily, especially getting comfortable with the calculator and so on, and getting feedback right away, because it will tell you when you get something wrong. Now, even though it's in class and the presentation is in class, there will be possibly times when I may do a Zoom recording of what's going on in the class and post it here.